you. Has anybody got anything else to say before we move on? Go on then.
Hiya.
Hi.
We go back a long time,
Yes, we do.
so can you tell me what you found interesting about the Reno in your days? What was
In
it?
my time.
Yeah.
There's so many things, but one, and for me, it was the music. I know a lot of people go down and say, oh, I found my soul, I found the colour. That was a mixed thing for me because I never found it till I found myself. But for me, I couldn't imagine a night anywhere not ending in the Reno.
True.
From I hit the door,
Dance time.
boom, I was there.
Dance.
And I can go back there in an instant now.
Yeah.
I loved the atmosphere,
Atmosphere.
the music, the people. And for me, it was a freedom of expression. I love to dance and I love music. I love all music, but Persian, for me, was the icon of the day, and he can still now, when I hear him play radio or if we're anywhere where he is, I can go back and I can be just that young girl again.
I remember you saying you went down the Reno in the early 70s and all that. Do you remember anything about Cooley at all?
I remember Cooley. Cooley and I were friends.
No, about when he was
he
playing
played,
his tunes.
oh yeah, I do. But for me,
It wouldn't have been as long as Persian.
no, definitely not, definitely not. But I remember him being there because he was somebody you noticed. He's only tiny.
Yeah.
He wasn't loud, but
Yeah.
he had a presence, and he did play. It's awkward because at the time I actually knew him as well. So he lived around the back of me at one stage, so I knew who he was and I knew him. And I liked Cooley's music, and he played for everybody. He kept them going when Persian wasn't playing.
That's the one, remember.
That's for me. Not taking anything away
Yeah,
from him. He was
yeah,
a DJ in his own right.
Yeah.
But for me, he was the beginning. Sometimes he was the middle, but he was never the end. And that's how I remember it.
Bless. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ah.
What else?
Do you have to pay in the Reno at all? Did they make you pay?
If I was so totally honest, I can only remember probably in all the years I went down there.
Was it 50 pence in days or a
Are
pound?
you trying to say I was holding them? No, it started at 50p and maybe it was a pound.
I remember that.
But
yeah.
he'd just go like that
Yeah.
and just let me through.
Right.
And no, because I'm trying to think, it was last year and it was Phil's nephew that used to be on the door before Mr. Massey that I knew was on the door.
Yeah.
So I think when Jeff was there, it was the next generation of youngsters that was going
that's
down
true.
from me.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, very rarely. I think he had a thing that the guys had to pay, or certain guys had to pay, but the certain girls never had to pay to go in.
But you was with Joneses, so you was out.
Yeah,
weren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was with Leroy. Jonesy was the elder one. But
Leroy
yeah.
Jonesy.
Yeah,
we called him
so-
Jonesy.
No, I never paid. I'd have felt affronted.
I know.
I'd
I
have
was
felt
always,
really affronted if
I was
had to
fine with not paying because I always knew Lassie from the Lagos Lagoon days.
pay. Okay. It's a place I never went, but I heard
Well, I
about
used to
that.
be in the band them days, so I was like, just do my thing there, so I just knew that. So, what do you miss about the Reno then? Come on.
To think you could just put your things on a night out, no matter how bad you felt, you could go in there. When you came out, you just felt alive.
Oh.
And sometimes if it didn't hit town, which nearly always did, but if it didn't hit town, at a certain time, maybe say 11:30, 12ish was the nice time to sort of down, because there was just quite a nice few buzz in there. But I've been in there sometimes where you think, hang on a minute, I mean, it's like that,
Yeah.
you know, and it's packed. And the heat and the bodies were there, but you connected with somebody across the road, or you thought, that's a bit tasty, that's a new face from out of town or something. It was just amazing.
I never remember any bad atmosphere, I never really seen a lot of violence down there, did you?
And I think I've only ever
At the back
seen,
end, yes, but
yeah,
not,
if there was a scuffle you'd heard about it, but from
Yeah.
where I was you'd never seen it. I don't think I ever, in all my years going down there, ever seen what you'd say a bad fight.
Yeah.
Never. I've seen girls 1 or 2 in the toilet
Yeah,
push up because, you know, that's my man and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But no. That's me.
You missed it. You missed it.
That's me. That's me.
You missed the end. It was sensational.
Right. Feedback, folks, before we go. Come on. Shall I start? Shall I give... I really liked that, the way that you kind of involved yourself, but not too much. Do you know what I mean? Like the way you said things about your experience, and then gave Carmen the ground to say hers. Yeah, and that you let us know that you had that experience together. What does anybody else think?
It's a bond.
No, definitely. What does anybody else think?
Knowing that you're such a character, just normally anyway, it all comes out so naturally. It's like, I could see you were kind of struggling at times, but I think that just comes with just being in front of the camera.
You put it in too much.
Is that what you thought, Steve? Genuinely?
Yeah, he put it in when he should have let her go.
Okay.
He put it in a bit. You know, no problem, Dave. I'm not being critical, you know what I mean?
Just take your sticks, man. Just get a just tap
There was a couple of times when I was probably waiting for something that might have helped me to be more drawn out. But I think I was more aware of people as well, that you're actually doing an interview, whereas I might have, if it was just Dave and I just sitting here chatting, might have said, oh, do you know what I mean?
Loads of stuff,
it was good. I felt he asked me the right things.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that feeling of just you two talking kind of came over, I thought.
Oh, did it?
It was, because that was
Right.
happening to a degree.
Right.
Phil, was you going to say something?
Yes and no.
Go on.
It's just the thing about the drugs, I think, because it's never really sort of been mentioned, has it, in the whole thing that we've been doing. And because of what Persian said and Triggy said, I think it's very, very important if we're going to tell the history, because you have this like massive decline, don't you?
But I don't think
not
we
only
should
the
mention
guys,
names.
it's women as well. No, you have to mention
You
the
don't have to
names.
mention names.
You can't, well, some of them are dead, so...
Yeah, but someone was past. You mentioned names, so I mentioned names.
No, not about the drugs.
But I think Phil's made a good point, because
What
But what I'm saying,
conversation,
in mass,
please?
we're talking it in mass.
No, mention the drugs, yeah.
Every one of us here probably
You know
can
what I
say
mean?
we've got a friend or a family member
There you
who
go,
got
yeah,
heavily
yeah,
involved.
yeah.
Every one of us.
But
Yeah,
also, I think what you mentioned was a good thing. I wouldn't do it on the camera because of, not of my family, because all my family know everything about me, but because of work colleagues and other things. But I would say a certain time in my life, which I know this is on, but I'm not saying it, I smoked a weed, and that was one place where I could go down and bill freely and nobody troubled me. And that's what you would find. People could do that. But it then went from that
To the Class
more,
A's.
Yeah, and who you walk with and who you walked with.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And it's who you walked, and if you didn't pull yourself back from them.
It's still happening as well.
I would imagine in this
I
day and age it
there's
does.
waves of the drugs come
It
in.
does anyway.
and
But I'm
just change.
saying sometimes certain people are, I don't mean it to sound awful when you say you've got that something in you that holds you back. Probably with me and the time and the era where you were, and it was all big, and the big people do it in the offices now, don't they, in the lunch breaks and whatever, they go for the toot of coke and all that when they're out. It all frightened me. Fear was the thing that stopped me from
Me
doing.
too.
You know what it did as well? It lost a lot of trust between us all.
Of course
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Very well said.
It lost a lot
Yeah.
of trust
Yeah,
between
because
us all.
in the weed, in the generation of weed, a lot of credit was given.
Yeah.
So when heroin came out, you couldn't sort of like, if you give something to somebody, they're going to sell it, but they're going to spend the money on gear. And that's
Yeah,
what
You
yeah.
couldn't even,
Girls
you
and
know
murders.
what? to-
Well, Stephen and Jeff know all about mine, because we was into it ourselves, weren't we? We messed up.
But therefore, God, you're here to tell a story that may help other people, and people that understand you. Not that you probably want people to understand you better because you've got your family.
Even if we
and
get
your friends.
one person to
But if you can stop somebody,
mess
you
up,
can
man.
help somebody. That in itself is great. But what we're saying is, it stemmed from a little thing, and you're right. People are just going to see it was a place where people took drugs. Not openly, but everyone, or near enough everybody that went in there, in whatever time, the younger ones, the older ones, they all smoked weed. nearly everybody
Rosemary.
smoke weed.
Yeah.
Or
Can
they
I-
took some sort of
Can I just
anti-infectant.
say, agreeing with Stevie, I think it is good not to mention names because
Totally.
not everybody's family members know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
Well,
what I mean? So maybe,
this
you know,
is-
and if they watch a video and they go,
You don't have to give names, though, do you?
No, you don't have to.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you
No,
talk about
we
what
can-
you like, but
Because it's
say
not,
on
to
there.
me it's kind of disproportionate, isn't it, to have such a high percentage in a particular club where they all evolve from sort of having a drink, having a weed, and they go into heroin. So what caused that? Because well, I don't remember, you know, being brought up in sort of Mouse Platin, and a lot of my friends was white. They wasn't taking heroin. The first people I knew taking heroin, to be honest with you, was my side.
But then again, I know a
So-
lot of white people,
Yeah,
and
but I
I've
think
lost
that was
white
a sign of
friends.
the times then.
Perhaps, yeah. you
It
know.
was said from America that crack, heroin, in the early 80s was going to hit here. They said that's the next big thing you've got to watch for.
Well, everything does from there,
No,
doesn't
but we're saying, before that, we didn't have that kind of powerful drug, heroin, you know, crack. And as you know,
You did.
they warned us, it come on the market, people were taking it, people were making a lot of money of it, led to violence. It just got out of control.
No, it didn't lead to
Even
nothing.
so, the other thing is, like in the time of like our parents, my parents, and I know from where we're giving away people and Miss Dolly next door or whatever, there was drugs then, but the type of drugs they were was Purple Hearts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
That, you know,
There was like a
there was
speed
things then
bump, yeah.
because you heard it.
I
I'm not.
can remember the
There's
60s.
a misconception about drugs in the media. You see, people who used to smoke cannabis used to smoke it because it was a nice smoke. You know, it gives you a lot of benefits. If you do smoke it, you know what it does. It's not addictive. They try to say it's addictive. It's not addictive.
I think what they're smoking now is version with all the nastiness.
Chemicals.
Yeah.
Shall we have a brief vote? Super fabulous.
I brought honey in my coffee.
Go for a coffee today.
Thank you, Miss.